If you're watching this and have no idea how you're going to pay your bills after getting hit with a garnishment, there are legal ways to stop the IRS or state collections right away. But the IRS isn't going to stop unless you know exactly how to stop them in their tracks. And that's why we have tax expert Hubert Johnson here. The question I have for you right now, can the IRS hit different sources of income? Things like Social Security, can they hit multiple wages and Social Security?
Yes, they can. So typically, if someone just has Social Security, the IRS in the States can only take 10% of it. But if you have other sources of income, like we talked about in that previous example, they can take up to 100% of someone's Social Security. If you're getting a retirement, a pension, if they can even show that they have that, they can definitely go after other sources of income. And it really hurts people when you hit multiple sources. So they can hit your wages. States are limited to 25% of wages unless there's other sources of income. IRS can take 50% of someone's wages if it's their only source of income. If there's multiple sources of income, they can take up to 100% of it, arguing, look, they have other income. Mm-hmm. And sometimes this other income isn't flowing in like they want to. So we see it happen all the time where people are hurt really bad because they'll take 100% of an income source.
So if someone's watching right now and they owe $250,000 or $400,000 or more, will the IRS still release wage garnishments? What should somebody do first?
First of all, call us. Call us right away. And you don't have to be broke to get your garnishments released. You just have to qualify and that for a better resolution than that. And there's sometimes that we take a wage garnishment and we turn it into an installment agreement. But like I mentioned in the last episode, if you don't set up a resolution, if you don't do this right, they can still hit you with bank levies. They can still garnish other sources of income. The IRS can almost always tighten the screws on you in ways that you don't even understand. So that's why it's so important to get good advice fast.
And what happens if someone does wait too long?
Well, they just lose more money. And when the screws get tightened, it just digs deeper into their finances. So people are so desperate at times. I've known people that they just quit good job after good job that they like, that they wanted to work at, just because everywhere they went, the IRS garnished their wages instead of dealing with it head on.
Yeah. So if you are waiting for the IRS to just stop, you're going to be very disappointed because they won't. This is ongoing until you take action. You've got to take the first step, whether it's them taking your wages, business income, or through a garnishment. You need to...
Sorry to interrupt, James, but
no,
I just can't emphasize enough the importance to call and get help as soon as you can. Because, again, this is a real thing. It affects people. And, again, just because they hit one person's wages doesn't mean they can't go and hit someone else's wages, especially if they owe jointly. And some people think, okay, they're just taking enough. I can tolerate this. They'll come in with bank levies, other issues, and just tighten the screws on someone until, again, they're crying uncle. And that's really what one way to force people to actually call and deal with the IRS is to tighten the screws up on somebody until they have to call uncle. Again, it happens time and time again. But waiting, putting things off, all it does is make your situation worse. So it's always best to call, get that advice, talk to an expert, find out what your rights and options are, and then you can move forward with that weight off your shoulders.
Absolutely. And it is in your hands. It's you who has to take action and make the call. We have the sources for you. Go to smartmoneyculture.tv/contact, scan the QR code on the screen, or call 855-786-2861. Because you're not just calling for information. You're calling to protect your hard-earned money.
And again, it's your money. Protect it. I mean, and we've had cases where someone's called in and we are on the same day calling to stop those garnishments because and it takes time. Once a garnishment release is issued, it can take a payroll, a week or two to process that. So just because we move as fast as possible doesn't mean people are going to have money in their accounts right away. And with Social Security, they can take 45 to 60 days to process garnishment release. So people are then getting their full amount of money back. So don't delay. Call us, use the QR code, or give us a call at 855-786-2861. It can only help you to call, get that relief, that stress off your shoulders, and start dealing with this head on and get ahead of it where you actually are beating the IRS.